Welcome to the Island Project. I'm Christopher Greene. They call me General Greene out here in beautiful Maui, Hawaii. This is Magnum Papa John, John Greene, Vice President. Welcome to the 1000X opportunity of your life, islandproject.com, the first fractional true ownership opportunity in the world to own the best of class real estate. This includes luxury homes, beachfront, oceanfront, cash flow producing condos. You get paid income. Your money is out of the banks. We see the banking crisis right now, of course. First Republic, it looks like it's going into receivership. We've had 5 major financial institutions collapse to zero in bank runs here in the United States and in Europe in recent days. The question many Americans are asking is, what do they do with their money? Cash is trash. You need to put it into the best physical real asset in the world, and do it in the most beautiful place alive here in the Hawaiian Islands. So today we're going to talk about what is fractional real estate. We're the innovators of this new technology. We are the first company, islandproject.com, ever to successfully fractionalize real estate here in beautiful Maui. So what does that mean? What do you get? How does the opportunity work? And what does it mean to be a member at islandproject.com? Our project portfolio is a $33.5 million founders round fundraise. This means that will never happen again. When we fill these spots, it's over. We are buying a host of amazing exclusive properties you've never seen anywhere in the world before. Again, best of class. It's very difficult to buy, for example, $10 million house individually. People don't have that money. But what if you do it with islandproject.com and you can do it at a fraction of the cost? $30,000, $100,000, $250,000, $1 million plus. And there are additional benefits. Again, income as we collect gross rents as your manager here at the Island Project on an annual basis. Some use, we're not a timeshare, so we don't do any of that, but there are private events and there are use cases for the property for our members, in addition to what I believe are the largest capital gains opportunities in the world. I mean, look at Malibu. You could have bought there at any point over the last decade and you would have made money. The same is true of Maui. We have world's billionaires, for example, pouring into the state, buying property. People like Jeff Bezos, Oprah Winfrey just scored another 1,000 acres upcountry, and so many others are buying, again, the most prized asset in the world. We've democratized this true and real ownership. John Greene, Vice President, is in real estate. He's a badass. I'm in tech. For those of you that don't know what I do, I've been in social media for over about 15, 16 years. I was an early mover in e-commerce, social media, and my platform AMTV. I was also an early investor in Bitcoin and other blockchain and cryptocurrency technologies. I've traveled all over the world. So not only does the Island Project own an actual real asset, all of our members own a fraction of the diversified portfolio, but the big event, which is coming very, very soon, 1000 freaking X, to the moon and beyond, is tokenization. So we're going to start explaining the basic features of membership, minimum requirements for entry, the investment, and I'll hand it over to my wonderfully handsome father, John, who spends his time between Oahu and Maui and, of course, runs our world-class brokerage here in the Hawaiian Islands.
Well, that's quite an introduction. I love you, buddy. Thank you for that. Well, look, everybody, I'm glad to be here. You can't really top what Chris mentioned about the Island Project, but to get into specifics, if you can look behind us, this is really what you're buying. You're buying a piece of the rock with the Island Project, and I get so many questions, but most of the time it revolves around this. Really, what is the Island Project? Is it a timeshare? Are you guys selling time? And I think the key point to remember is, first off, above everything else, with the Island Project, you're buying a piece of the rock. You're buying a piece of this behind us, and you're really buying a portfolio of about 10 to 12 properties that we're going to build out and acquire that's going to make up the Island Project. So number one is true fractional ownership. We're not using any bank debt, so we made it essentially a risk-free investment for our investors with great potential upside. In addition to that, we're going to deliver operating earnings income to our investors, typically at the end of the year in the form of a distribution. In addition, we're not selling time, but we are going to provide our investors with some use of the property portfolio. It's going to depend on the amount of your investment, and we're going to develop a plan and a matrix about how we divvy that up. But there will be some time available to our investor community. So all you guys and girls can reach out, touch the investment, use the property portfolio to some degree. And then the big bang event, as Christopher mentioned, is to tokenize the whole project. So we don't know how big that's going to be, but we know it's going to be big. That's going to be the big event. If the island project needed to stand on its own, it can do it. And it's going to deliver great appreciation, operating income, and use of the property portfolio. So
we have minimum investment of $30K minimum, and we are a Reg D filing, a private placement. We filed early July, where we just launched the project, and we've had massive success since launching. You know, I have 1 million+ people all around the world across social media following me, of course, and most of the founder of BitcoinRich.com. It's the largest educational blockchain program in the world. I've traveled all over the world, you know, been to places like Asia, spoken on stages in this specific area. So what do you get? You come in with 30 shares, they own a real asset. So explain that. They own not just one property. We just closed on our first mega retreat, flagship one, here on the west side of Maui. All glory to God. The place is absolutely beautiful. What does a member get? Explain what the 30 units actually represent when they go through portal in the members tab.
Yeah. And by the way, to access the investment, go to the website, islandproject.com, click on membership. That's going to get you over to Dealmaker, which is our private third-party provider. Okay, and you can actually fill out the app, fund the investment right through Dealmaker. So islandproject.com, hit the membership tab, get you over to Dealmaker. If we had a board behind us, and I was going to write it out, 33,500 A shares, like the letter A in the Island Project. So all of our and that represents $33.5 million, the capital raise. So a $33.5 million capital raise, 33,500 A shares, like the letter A in the project. So when you make that 30 share investment in the Island Project, that $30,000 investment, you are buying, that's your piece of the rock. All those A shares, the 33,500 goes to purchase the property portfolio. So take the 33.5 million, the 33,500 A shares. If you bought 30 A shares, that's your piece of the capital raise. That's your piece of the Island Project. No bank debt. That's why the investment is essentially, we think, riskless, okay, with a lot of potential upside. And because of that, too, we're taking in a lot of IRA money. People are peeling off portions of their IRA money, transferring it over to the Island Project, because it is a one-of-a-kind, marquee Hawaii real estate investment. You own a piece of the rock, number one. It's true fractional ownership. There's no bank debt. So you've got 100% equity in proportion to your fractional share, and all the other goodies that we're going to.
And it's a world-class investment. It's providing a real-world solution to people's problems. So that's a big takeaway. I mean, we have a common mission statement of freedom and liberty and an ethos to be free, and we're building in the biggest revolutionary technology in the world, which is blockchain and fractional real estate, which no one's done before. We're the only company, and along with our beautiful, amazing, wonderful members, that have ever done this, and proving that this is replicatable and that it's going worldwide. And I know firsthand that we have so many companies on Wall Street actually moving into the space. But the problem of affordability and the turnkey nature of what we're doing, I think, is so huge, because, you know, the average American, you're working class, you can't afford the best asset in the world, but you can now. You can buy trophy assets in Maui for the first time ever in history. And we've been out here for 3 generations. We're so blessed. My late grandfather, your father, and we have such expertise in the area where we've seen Maui grow. And we're also, you know, concerned too with preservation of the beauty here and the real estate here and building up a world-class community. And we've come into a moment of time where affordability is escaping people. And you're missing out, the world's missing out on the best investments. And so we really offer a solution so that you can have a piece of the rock, like my father just mentioned, but also get in on the action and make sure, number one, you're out of the banks, you're outperforming inflation, what we believe is a very low-risk investment. Not financial advice, of course, I have to say that, but we don't even have any bank debt. I mean, that is absolutely huge. It gives peace of mind at the end of the day that all of you that own, that are our owners and our members, have something that can't go away, that's actually real and tangible. I mean, in the blockchain space, people have said for years, Christopher, what happens if this cryptocurrency goes to zero? Well, it goes to zero, as we've seen many of them do. That can never happen with Island Project because you own land. You own real property, you own the homes on top of it, you own the cash flows. More importantly, you own our team. You own our strength in numbers, our amazing community. We work for you as your manager and turnkey the whole operation. So another huge advantage is if you want to take action in the blockchain space, but you don't know how to do it because it's too complicated and you're reading things on CNBC.com that you don't understand, well, we do that for you. So not only is it it makes perfect sense from a real estate investment standpoint, but in addition to that, there is tremendous upside potential as we tokenize around the world. And tell us a little bit about our members and maybe commonly asked questions that you get on the phone as we get peppered and we're walking people through the process of becoming a member. What do you see most often and what are people asking?
Well, most often, like I mentioned before, is the timeshare. Everybody wants to think that because we offer some time that we're some kind of a timeshare. But again, that's the last thing we are. We're true fractional ownership. And the goal is to everybody, just kind of reinforce it. 75 to 80% of the time we intend to lease out the properties, rent out the properties to third parties. That's where we're going to get our cash flow from. That 20 to 25% of the time that we don't rent out or lease out the properties, that goes to the investors. That's how we're going to allocate the time. So that's a big one. And then just what is fractional ownership? I mean, can you really explain that to me, John? And I think Chris has done a great job of democratizing it. There's no other island project. There's no other project like what we're doing. And it goes right down to all the thought and the intellectual property that's gone into 3 years in the making to put this together. So our operating agreement is unique, and it's unique to the island project, and nobody can do what we're doing. We're first movers in the space. And I don't know if a lot of people I don't think big corporations, big money is going to want to do what we're doing because our goal is to bring our community along, democratize it, support everybody that supported you, and create a community.
Yeah, and I don't even think they can do it. I mean, the beauty of what we're doing and what makes it so unique is it's a true ecosystem. So we have all these other features that you may or may not know about. For example, I own personally a baker's dozen Jeeps. I opened up a state-of-the-art 4x4 off-roading Jeep company here in Maui about 3 years ago. Started that business, which serves exclusively our members. This includes private air charter in the future from specific destinations around the world. Our members are from all around the world. The United States, great states like Texas, hoorah, 1000X. We've got people from Canada, New Zealand, Australia, escaping tyranny, wanting to put their money to work and the soundest investment that they could possibly get their hands on. And this is huge. I mean, this is like when Airbnb first was invented and all of a sudden you could cash flow a dormant vacant property. And I mean, this is not only the future, but you can see it through the lens of even what we see in the media. They say, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Well, you know what? I say, screw that. I say, you guys own the best asset in the world. Don't let the billionaire class own everything. Don't let them take you out of the opportunity. Create the opportunities and then replicate that around the world in a very freedom-oriented way that empowers our members. Now, a couple other requirements for the investment opportunity to become a member is not only the 30K minimum. We have, of course, members and owners that are far exceeding that, 250 shares, 300 shares, 1,000 plus shares up to the 33.5 million amount, but there is a hold period of 3 years. So I always tell people, we had a couple conversations yesterday, that if you can't afford to invest your money, your hard-earned money for at least 3 years, then it's probably not for you. Keep in mind, we've got a roadmap build-out, which you can learn more about at islandproject.com, about an 18-month roughly schedule of acquiring properties, which we're picking our spots. You know, it's very important to buy right. They're not making any more real estate, but it's very important that we get good deals. So we're very good at that. Our state-of-the-art brokerage, of course, which brings our entire marketing machine to the world. Islandproject.com is my father has been buying and selling real estate for his amazing clients over the last decade. Really brings a level of expertise, but also worldwide brand awareness that I don't really think exists in any other opportunity that I am aware of worldwide, which makes us so unique and so incredible.
Yeah, you bring up a great point, and number one is the brand part of it. So we're unique. There's only one island project, but at the back end of this whole project is great brand awareness, great brand building, and everybody that's part of this founders round is going to benefit from that because Chris and I have had a lot of discussions about it, but that might be the biggest thing that's going to happen about the Island Project is creating a huge brand. You're part of it. Hang on for the tokenization. It's going to be like an IPO. That's going to be the big bang. And I think you also brought up, kind of aroused a question I get too, and that's about That is about the payout, the distributions, the operating income. And I'm honest with people when I talk about this. Number one, we're going to deliver good, solid operating income. But if you're buying the island project just for operating income, you shouldn't be. You should be buying the island project for the whole package. And that's the fractional ownership, buying a piece of the rock, the operating income distributions, that's a part of it. You're going to be able to touch and use your investment, have some private consulting, FaceTime with Christopher, dinners. We're going to put something together like that. And the big thing is the tokenization. So in the order of that, you can decide what that is. But to me, that tokenization is huge. When you make the investment, you want to hang on to the investment until we tokenize. A question I do get is how long is a lockup? You mentioned the 3-year lockup. Well, what happens after the 3 years? Well, again, you want to hang on until we tokenize. If for some reason you can't and we haven't tokenized after 3 years, we're going to have another investor portal. You can sell your investment to other members. You can sell it back to Christopher and I. You can transfer it to family, friends, sell it. So there's going to be liquidity to your investment no matter what. But for God's sake, you're buying the investment to tokenize and hang on to it. And envision what we're going to do here in the next 3 years, because we're just getting started with the portfolio, but it's going to be pretty dynamic.
Well, it's going to be huge too, and it's dynamic obviously, but it's also a proof of concept. Again, I could tokenize now with all my tech expertise and raise $100 million plus probably, but there is no proof of concept portfolio in doing that. And so my goal is lay a foundation of no bank debt, of the best property assets in the world, focus on Maui and also Oahu, expand worldwide, and we are about 18 months or so in to the build out, again 8 to 12 properties here in beautiful Maui, which makes you diversified. You don't own just one unit. Let's say they change the HOA rules or something and you can't rent daily anymore. Well, you don't have that risk as a part of the project. And the goal is to, number one, serve our members immensely, 1,000x to the freaking moon, but to tokenize at precisely the right time with the first worldwide proof of concept portfolio. Take it to blockchains around the world. And that liquidity event, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, the sky is the limit. It's going to be worth a lot, in my humble opinion. And so what do they get? By clicking the link below, going to islandproject.com. By the way, you can speak with my father as well, Vice President, if you have any commonly asked questions that you would like to speak to or ask. You receive financial documents. Again, we are a Reg D private placement filing. We filed in early July before our launch. We are almost fully funded, which means once we reach the 33.5 million, no other founders will get in ever. And it's important because we don't want to dilute any of our members. Again, we serve you, we serve our members.
That's a great point. There's no dilution. Okay, it's a $33.5 million maximum capital raise and 33,500 A shares max. So when you make your investment, you've got no dilution. Okay, your minimum fractional ownership would be based on that 33,500 A shares. Well, that's, we got you covered there.
It's a big deal. And so you receive your financial documents, you receive your units that you own, 30, 100, 300 shares, whatever it is. And then we have this amazing build out. What other commonly asked questions, Alex? Shoot from the hip here, but you're asked questions all the time by friends and family members of my audience. Anything stand out?
One question I get asked is, you already answered it, but the 3-year, pull out, someone invests the money, they must wait 3 years if they want to pull out. That was the one question I got.
Everybody asks that. You're not alone. And I think the reason why we need it for 3 years is probably pretty obvious, guys. It could take us 3 years maximum to build out the property portfolio. We can't, we need the capital to do that. So when you make the investment, you are locked in for 3 years.
And you need to think about this giant tidal wave that the Island Project and our members are in front of. So the whole world's going to be tokenized. Fractional real estate, you're going to see fractionalization of every asset class in the world. The stock market's going to be tokenized. Commercial apartment complexes will be tokenized. This is going to happen within the next few years.
Already starting to happen.
This is already starting to happen. So the beauty of this, as we're almost kind of like venture capitalists, pre-IPO. I'm an early technical adopter in technology. Like, we're so early. All of our members are going to capitalize from what I believe is the #1 trend in the world. Blockchain technology and fractionalization of real physical assets, tokenized. Again, have you heard anyone else in the world doing this? I haven't. We're the first to actually execute and have successfully fractionalized the beginning parts of the portfolio already. So it's very important to understand that in addition to that, you're buying us, you're buying our team. You're putting faith and trust in John Greene, Christopher Greene, our world-class marketing machine, millions of eyeballs around the world. I mean, I look at this as a worldwide brand. There's so much opportunity, and also the strength of our community membership, which includes so many successful men and women around the world from all ages, walks, shapes, and sizes from all over the world. We have so many baby boomers in the project that are just looking, I need to put my money to work. And wow, I can buy Maui now. I don't need $3 million to buy a part of this amazing property and condo. No, you don't, because there's islandproject.com. So this innovation is just so key to the future. It's absolutely unbelievable. And we have the ability, along with our members, to just achieve, honestly, I believe, greatness in the coming years and things that we really stand for. I'm a Christian. I love God. I love people. Not everyone in the project's a Christian. It's not a requirement. But we love God. And we're all just pushing, and we're all, you know, building each other up and creating an incubator, too, and a network, so to speak, of really great things in the future. So you can make money. Absolutely. You can tokenize 1,000x potentially. You can go to the freaking moon. Receive your distributions, your large capital gains, private events, so much more. And imagine in the future, because it's not just here in Maui, the next project could be in Thailand, could be at a amazing world-class ski resort, anywhere our members want to go. And all of you tuning in that become founders are the only people in the world that are going to have access to it. So it truly is a democratized event that will never, ever happen again, which makes it so special. And honestly, is my life's purpose and passion and mission, and it is an honor to serve all of you. We have pastors, we have people in Fortune 100 as a part of our membership. We have working moms, single mothers, grandparents, baby boomers, young kids. John out in California and his mom, he's a young, strapping entrepreneurial guy, reminds me of myself when I was a lot younger, and he's gotten in and made it happen and gotten into the project. So like,
and had to work at it.
Had to work at it, you know? And so there's just so much honor and amazingness to that that makes what we're doing worthwhile. So you can feel great, not only owning the best investment in the world, but also doing a lot of good. And then turnkeying the blockchain into fractionalization and tokenization of a world-class asset that we are literally, we're the Genesis launch, islandproject.com, of the first ever opportunity like this that has ever existed. So I encourage you, click the link below right now. You can call my father. You can speak to us, ask any questions. You can also fund immediately through Portal in the Members tab. There's a 5-minute application. It's so easy. Some basic questions are answered. We accept ACH, wire transfer, crypto, of course, other methods. And let us help you through the process. Make sure you onboard for our review. And upon approval, I will countersign along with my father. You will receive your amazing docs, and we'll see you in Maui Booyah very soon. 1,000 freaking X to the moon.
All right. Aloha, everybody. Great to be with you today. And remember, we're the good guys. We're trying to do good in the world. He's passionate about this, and I am too. So aloha.
Love you.
Join us.
God bless. See you soon.